Porno. This is a Shudder exclusive horror comedy. And it was also helped produce Fangoria, the horror magazine, helped produce it. Now their films are hit and miss, so I wasn't too big on going into this one, but I said why not? The concept seemed interesting. It was originally released March 9th, 2019, but it just came on Shudder I think it was on Friday or Thursday on November 24th or 25th this year. So catch it in there. It did quite a few festival circuits, so you probably it's gained notoriety. Stars Caitlin Pierce, and it was produced by Sarah Sulisi and Chris A. Cole. Written by Lawrence Vanelli and Matt Black, and directed by Keola Rasella, who has also done a few other films like Above the Sun, Two Sisters, and Emergency Contact. Never heard of any of those, so but yeah, so this is a horror comedy where it takes place with five teens in a movie theater, and they're about to close up, and they're every once a month or something they get to choose a movie they want to watch that's in theaters and watch it, just them in the theater, and the owner's fine with it. But this time the stoner projectionist and stuff, they get into a little hassle. There's a weird old guy that's left in the theater and is acting strange, and then ends up exposing an old loft, an old porno theater part of the theater. So they go snooping through there, and they find this old film reel with a weird symbol on it, and they decide to watch it, which is an old porno film. Looks like it's supposed to be in 3D and stuff because it has all those weird blue and reds and colorful stuff. It's very this film's pretty artistic horror comedy, but yeah, and after watching it, they realize they summon a sexual demon, also known as a succubus, and basically they have to try and break the curse and get rid of the succubus with all the crazy stuff going on. Overall, this film is super boring. I thought it has an interesting plot line, but man, it takes a while for it to grow and get going. Now the acting's pretty good in this film, but the writing and yeah, just some of the shots weren't that good. I like the practical effects in it. There's some pretty good ones in there, buddy, hilarious parts. But the practical effects, there's some really shoddy CG though mixed in there too, and I think it was just poorly put together. This film, yeah, it tries to be funny, but most of the jokes fall flat, and it's just not really appealing to me. This is definitely not the type of film I'm into, and it has a neat artsy look, but overall, this whole story was just vague and run down, boring nonsense, basically. It takes a while for it to start up, and then once you see the cult things, it's very subdued, toned down. It's not super over the top, and it looks very cartoony in some scenes, and it just wasn't that interesting halfway through. The first half I thought was pretty solid. They try to develop the characters as best they could, and try to make them each one have a relatable dynamic for a different type of people. But other than that, there wasn't much to it. Once the succubus comes, you barely see it. And there's some stupid gore and dumb scenes. You see a lot of fake male dongs in this getting ripped off and stuff. And overall, it was just a complete bore and disappointment. Yeah, I don't really have very much else to say besides it's boring and disappointing. But I do gotta say, the girl who played the succubus did a funny job, pretty good job. And one of the best parts in the whole film is when one of the kids starts jerking off to the porno, and then she shows up and just spews blood for 2 or 3 minutes right into his face from her mouth. It's hilarious. But other than that, there's always some interesting parts to the film. The rest of it's just either cliche, stupid, or just completely out there. You have to be high on acid or something to find it amusing. So, yeah. Porno was a pretty big disappointment for a Shudder exclusive, I thought. Also, this isn't sponsored by Shudder anyway, so I can say what I want. But yeah. Um, I was not too keen on it. Besides the acting and some good special effects, there wasn't that much to it. So, for this one, I am giving this a 2 out of 5. It was okay. Maybe if I was stoned or something watching it, I might find it more amusing. But I watched this sober and was completely bored out of my mind for the first hour. And then once it started picking up, there's some odd, decent parts. But other than that, it wasn't really my thing. So if you're into the same stuff if you like agree with like a lot of stuff I say, I would stay away from it. But if you're into like crappy indie schlock, which with like more like demon stuff than some of the other stuff I've talked about, you might find it interesting. But overall, I specifically didn't like it. So yeah, Porno, not that big, not that great. Yeah, trailer's linked down below if you've never heard of it and you want to check it out. Also, my Instagram's linked down below, so you should follow me there. I usually post clips of films and review on my story with the title of the film hidden in a hashtag. So yeah, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you like this video, share it if you really want to. Comment down below if you've seen this. Did you like it as much? Did you like it? Did you hate it as much as I did? Let me know. Love to hear about it. If you have any other films, any films at all, doesn't have to be horror or anything. I'll watch anything. Comment those down below as well. Try my hardest to get to them if I can find them, yeah, and get to them as soon as I can. Yeah, make sure you subscribe because you probably never know what films I'm going to talk about next. So, yeah, but Porno is a disappointment. So hopefully the next one's not a disappointment. I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about next. So, yeah, till then, see you in the next review.